Cursed City, Grim Forest, Doom Tower, Live Arena, Classic Arena, Tag Team Arena, Iron Twins, Sand Devil, Phantom Shogun, Faction Wars, CVC, Siege, Daily Quests, Daily Advanced Quests, Coalition Events, Fusions, Login Champions, IP collabs at an ever-increasing rate, and all the tournaments and events in between. And what you've got there isn't just content, it's a full-time job, one that you're not even being paid to do. In today's video, I'm bringing you my 2026 survival guide for Raid Shadow Legends so that hopefully you can learn to prioritize what it is you actually need to do rather than what Plarium makes you feel like you absolutely have to do. Let's do it. Guys, before we move ahead, just letting you know I've got a new player promo link and it is waiting for you in the pinned comment and description of this video. Whether you're new to Raid or you just want to try the free-to-play life, it's going to get you off to a solid head start with a free legendary and 3 free epics as you level up your account. Here's what you need to do. You'll want to log out of Plarium Play on your PC and uninstall the game. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email address. Launch Raid, complete your tutorial, go to your inbox and claim your first free champion. This is a good one, guys. Now back to the video. Okay, so if January is anything to go by, it appears that Plarium are ramping up what we need to do each day in Raid Shadow Legends, and I can see a lot of players getting incredibly burned out or just super frustrated that they just can't get it all done in time. And I think one of the biggest traps that people fall into in this game is feeling like you have to absolutely do everything, when in reality, it is still just a game. You've got to play it the way you want to play it. And by all means, if you want to do everything, fill your boots. But I think it's starting to become glaringly obvious that if you want everything done, you're probably going to have to spend somewhere between 6 and 8 hours a day just to try and achieve it all. One thing I've always said that has always caught me out in this game is the more you actually try to achieve, the less you end up achieving. It's a bitter reality that games like this bring with it. So this is not a min-max guide, a whaling guide, any kind of guide on how to achieve anything. This is just balance, restraint, a little bit of discipline, and hopefully a lot more enjoyment when it comes to this game. I've broken it down into 5 things, and I'm going to try and do every single one of these 5 every day so I can avoid the burnout and I can just avoid getting completely frustrated by this game. Let's start with rule number 1. Just because something exists, it doesn't mean you have to do it. Raid adds content way faster than it takes away, and content does not always equal obligation. If you learn to prioritize things that are actually going to benefit your account in a permanent and long-term way, then ultimately the time and effort that you put in is going to be better used. Think of things like Lydia from Faction Wars. If you're still trying to get Lydia, then that's where your focus should be, because once you get Lydia, you're going to use her from the day that you get her until pretty much the day you stop playing this game. The same could be applied to Tag Team for Romantu. If you haven't got him yet, then that should be your priority. And you could even say the same for a champion like Mithrala from Hydra. Once again, if that's where you channel your focus, it's going to net you a much more positive and permanent long-term gain. All this fluff here, all of this rubbish in the middle, it can wait. Just learn to prioritize and make sure that what you are focusing on are things that are permanent. Rule number 2, no fusion, no priority. This is something that I try and teach absolutely everyone when I do coaching and takeovers. Whilst a fusion is on, go mental, do your thing, do all of the events and burn all of your resources. But when there's not a fusion going on, Raid are incredibly good at drip feeding you all of these little events, and let's be honest, the rewards for these events are actually not usually worth the energy they take to do them. But if you try and do absolutely everything, then a fusion is going to come around, you are going to have no resources left because you basically fell for the bait that Raid put in front of you, and you've then got 2 options. You either skip the fusion or you do exactly what Raid are counting on you to do, and that is spend real life money to get yourself out of a rut so that you can actually compete in the fusion. It's a very spicy little trap, and it's actually kind of genius the way that Raid does it. But if you can just learn to just hold off from excessive play during the times where there is no fusion, then the fusion's going to come around and you're going to go, oh, I can actually do that this time. No stress, no drama, you'll have tons of saved resources because you haven't been spending them, and suddenly fusions just become incredibly easy. One thing that's very useful to note about a lot of fusions in this game is, more often than not, they bring something quite unique. They're usually a precursor to a bit of content that's going to come up a lot later, and sometimes they have debuffs or maybe abilities that they are totally planning on you needing later down the line when that next bit of content drops. So sometimes even just missing a single fusion can actually come back to bite you a little bit later. Don't fall into that trap. Just exercise a little bit of discipline. You don't need to do all of the events. Just focus on the fusions. And one thing to note, whenever I tell people this, they say, but yeah, how am I going to grow my roster? You know, how am I going to get a bigger account? During a fusion, they will have multiple shard pulling events, and usually there's some pretty decent champions in the mix. Plus, if you actually pull in those times, not only are you going to get your fusion champion, you might also get the epics or the rares that you need to do the fusion, thus saving you time, energy, and resources to actually get the fusion done. It may seem counterintuitive, but I absolutely promise you, the less you play outside of a fusion, the better time you're going to have when that fusion does actually come along. Rule number 3, time and energy are the real currencies of Raid Shadow Legends. Start to have a little look around at what exactly rewards what. Things like Curse City, Doom Tower, and Grim Forest take absolutely zero energy to actually do. All it takes is a little bit of time, but more often than not, it will actually net you some form of energy or other reward for your efforts. Think of doing your 5 classic arena battles every day. That's an energy refill. Logging in for 60 minutes. That's an energy refill. Winning 3 live arena battles. That's an energy refill. This way you're just sacrificing a bit of time so that you can actually get more energy, so that you can do content that you can just leave playing in the background and you can actually walk away from, yet still be gaining in the process. Some of the worst offenders in this game are things like Tag Team Arena or pointless event grinding. It doesn't always actually bring you something. All you've ever really got to remember is one kind of simple rule when it comes to stuff like this. Energy is finite, time is renewable. Choose accordingly, because not everything is actually a good use of your time. By all means, like I said earlier, if you're focusing on getting Romantu down, then Tag Team Arena is going to be a thing. But let's not forget that if you want to actually progress up a tier in a week, you only need to do 10 battles a week. You don't need to do your 5 every day, plus it will probably help you net a better score at the end of the week. Rule number 4. Effort does not always equal reward. If we look at the current Spider tournament for the fusion going on at the moment, you will see that I've pushed up to 2,250 points so that I can get the Fragment champion for said fusion. However, if I wanted to go up to this reward here, then we're probably looking at about 1 energy is 1 point. So is 500 energy actually worth a 4-star chicken? I would argue that no, it's probably not. The same thing is probably going to apply to pretty much any other tournament. Take this as an example, 3,500 points for an Immortal Soulstone. Is that actually a good use of my time and energy? Maybe for some, but I don't think for me that it is. Sure, I would like to compete, but once again, competing is not always the way to actually get something done, because I could max out the points here and someone could just come along and snipe me anyway. And even when we look at rewards, and they're very good at this, when you see a chest, gold, silver, platinum chest, whatever it is, what I like to do is look at it and go, right, what's the worst available reward that they're offering here? Because let's be real, that's probably the reward I'm actually going to get for my effort. And in this case, knowing my luck, it's probably going to be multi-battles or maybe an epic book. Sure, 50 primal quartz, that's half a chance at getting a mythical, even though I'm probably just going to get a rare. It's not always worth going for. Sometimes you've got to look at an event and kind of know when to actually fold. You pick the reward that you actually want and go, right, I'm just going to get that. Sure, if you end up with extra energy throughout the day or something like that, then maybe push a little bit harder. But as soon as you start to actually understand that most rewards are actually terrible in this game and you usually get the worst of the available options, the more fun you're going to have when you just look at something and go, yeah, no, I'm just going to call it quits here, and I'm actually going to go and do something a little bit more beneficial. It's a very simple little mindset shift, and it pretty much changes absolutely everything. So that's all from me today, guys. Just 5 things that I'm going to keep in my mind every time I log into this game, so I don't just get completely burned out, because there is just so much to do in 2026. Play less, be more direct, be a little bit more productive in what you're doing, and ultimately do not let raid dictate how you spend your day. If you enjoy this type of content, please feel free to like and subscribe, and maybe become a member of the channel if you want to support me in that way. Plenty more videos coming up, so please stay tuned, and I will see you in the next one.